Well, hello. We are now on our way to the third Autocross with my 1986 Porsche 944, aka Project Weekend Racer, the car I bought several months back with the intention of buying a cheap sports car, doing the bare minimum to get it up to snuff, and going to take it to do very economical forms of racing, i.e. Autocross, which is quite literally the most economical form of racing. In fact, today's race event cost me $40 to partake in. In the first race, we actually went to the track that we are going to today, Kilcare. We got our butt absolutely handed to us because, well, we had original tires and we had original suspension on it. In between the first and second race, we put brand new, much stickier tires on it. We put new front end sway bar bushings on it, which improved the handling dramatically between the two changes. In this race, we are going back to Kilcare, which is a much tighter, much more feature-oriented track with a lot of slalom kind of features. And we are going to put our vehicle to the test. Hopefully, we'll be able to see that we have a lot of improvement in comparison to the rest of the field. This race, however, will be a different story because it is a tighter, more technical track. It is more in the Miata's wheelhouse. So we're going to have to really bring our A game in order to stay ahead of the Miatas and hopefully be able to place better in relation to the BRZ/GR86s. The other big question mark, which is unrelated to the 944 by the way, is I just completed a timing belt/water pump job on this very Land Cruiser yesterday. I took it for a very short test drive after finishing it, and now we are towing a trailer at this vehicle's towing capacity. Hopefully I did a sufficient enough job to where we're not gonna end up on the side of the highway on this 90-degree day. I've got a little bit more driving to do. Hopefully we end up at Kilcare Raceway, but assuming we do, I will see you guys once we get there. Captain's log. For all three of you who care, the Land Cruiser did in fact make it. What an absolute beast this thing is. I can't say that enough. I love this freaking vehicle so much. All right, well, we are here. It's time to get the vehicle unloaded. We got to get checked in, get teched, and we'll get to ripping pretty soon here.
Ripping on tearing. Ripping and the tearing.
Well, all right. Time to give you guys a quick track overview just so you know what the ding dang ding I'm talking about as we are going through this race recap video. So here is the track. Kilcare is in itself a racetrack, and what's pretty cool about this particular venue is that they put the autocross course on the racetrack as opposed to just being inside of a big parking lot. So things do look a little bit confusing when you don't have the racing line overlaid. So I will go ahead and show you that now. So hopefully things make a little bit more sense here. Starting on the east side of the track, we've got a little bit of a left-right juke, and then we go through a series of just kind of guide cones through that first big left-hander. This feature is extremely critical because you're carrying so much speed through that straightaway, and then it's basically a decreasing radius corner with all of that speed into a much tighter section. This corner was absolutely critical and became pretty much my Achilles heel, as you will find out. So from that left-hander, we then go up the very middle of the track where we have to stay left of a marker cone. This one also became kind of an issue because, again, you're carrying quite a bit of speed into this area, and if you carry too much speed, then that cone is right in the middle of your path of travel. Then we go around this island, what I'm calling the carousel. So you follow this around, rejoin the same section of track that you just went on out of the big first left-hander turn. You go back up the middle again, past that same marker cone in the middle of your path of travel, take a pretty hard right sweeping corner into a mini little slalom section, and then into the finish line. So that's just a quick track overview. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of context when you're watching these race recap videos. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful track footage. Well, everybody, it is freaking hot. Here we go for the first run, though. Also, as you can see, my sunroof is still on. In the last event, I took it off, which was super nice for being able to have helmet headroom. Unfortunately, this 40-year-old car did 40-year-old car things, and the sunroof is now stuck, and I can hear the relays clicking, but the motor doesn't want to work. So, we are back to stunted headroom. I'm still having to put my seat in a non-ideal position, unfortunately. We gotta run it the way it is. When you're ready. slidey, but not bad. Man, that was slippery out there. Dude, this track is freaking hot. Really wish I was sitting closer to the wheel, because that was a lot of sawing for having my arms freaking straight out. So after run one, I was feeling surprisingly good, regardless of the fact that that car was so loosey-goosey. But I had attributed that mostly to the fact that the tires were cold on a very hot track. Let me reiterate, it was a crazy hot day. So ended up sitting 7th after round one, which is amazing. However, my rival, which we'll talk about many times in this video, was sitting all the way down in 4th. So dang, I had a little bit of ground to make up. I was pretty tentative and cautious on the first drive still, so I think we can pick up some time yet. We're gonna get 3 runs in this very first run group, and then it's gonna be a break, and then we're gonna get 4 more runs later in the evening under the lights, which will be kind of cool. When you're ready. Okay. That was sketchy. I had quite a bad entrance into the very first corner. Got really loose, but I think we recovered, but no doubt that cost us some time. Shoot. Well, hey, that's how you got faster. You push it. So, 'tis what it is. Okay, so run 2 was rough. I nearly spun the car going into turn 1. After that first very long straightaway. However, I recovered well, and during the rest of the lap managed to only add 0.144 seconds onto my time from the very first run, meaning that I definitely improved in other places to make up for the huge amount of time I lost when I nearly spun the car. Placement-wise, though, I was now back in 10th place because, well, honestly, other people in the street class were starting to figure out the track, and we're starting to post significantly better times than me. My rival, however, was still sitting ahead of me in 9th.
When you're ready.
Okay. So run 3 was a little bit better. In the end, though, it was faster, and I did improve on my best time by about 0.3 of a second. Although, yet again, several people continued to dramatically improve from run 2 to run 3 within the street class. So even with my improvement, I was now back in 14th. Not ideal. Although I was now ahead of my Miata rival. He was back in 15th. So this would then conclude the afternoon runs. So now let's go ahead and move on to the evening runs under the lights.
Okay, well, hello. If it looks darker now, it's because it is. It is now during the second of the 2 overall run groups. Going for confidence into that first corner is my main thing. So hopefully we can make some improvements there.
You're ready.
Dang it. 36.026.
So run 4, the first evening run. For whatever reason, I felt like this run was significantly faster than my previous 3 runs. I don't know if it was just the sun going down or the fact that it had been several hours since I drove, considering there was a run group and dinner time between my previous driving and the drive I just finished. Unfortunately, however, it was slower than run 3, so no improvement. Fortunately, it did seem that others did also have the first evening run jitters, because I held my place at 14th and my rival held his at 15th. Run 5, I started to figure some things out. Unfortunately, however, somebody wanted to ride with me, which I somewhat reluctantly agreed to do. This car is so sensitive to additional weight. That being said, of course, I'm always happy to help someone else learn. Autocross is more of a team environment than you would think, so I just wanted to let the guy ride along, and I knew I had a couple more runs after this one anyway. And as luck would have it, I ended up making a big mistake and losing a lot of time going into that second corner. But regardless of that mistake and the additional weight of that passenger, I was still able to post my second fastest run of the day so far. So I took a step back and realized that the tweaks I was making in the areas throughout the run were in fact working, obviously. I just needed to string everything together and make a clean run. So after round 5, I had swapped places with my rival. Again, him taking over 14th and me taking over 15th. Not ideal.
All right, everybody, we back. I had someone ride with me in the last run, and I actually set my second best time of the day, which is surprising, even though I made a huge freaking boo-boo. I was pissed about it, but that just means I improved in other areas of the track, which is nice. So now I just need to apply those changes that I did and not make the same mistake. I don't know what to say. That wasn't the smoothest run. 35.437. Sweet. That was in fact my fastest run by a half second. Whew. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I still made mistakes, so I know I can go faster.
I started to get some confidence going into run 6. I knew exactly what I needed to do, and like I said, all I needed to do was make a clean pass at it. And now that I had no passenger, I knew that now was the time. I needed to capitalize on it within these last 2 runs. The breaking point of turn 1 and the big carousel are the 2 spots that I felt I was losing a lot of time. For run 6, I figured out turn 1 the best I had done yet, and I pushed it much harder through that carousel, resulting in a half-second improvement. This allowed me to bump up to 13th place and allowed me to regain the lead over my rival. But things were still close, and everything was going to come down to that last round.
Final run, here we go. I need to push it harder into that first corner yet again. That is like, and then not screw up the following corner. That is like my Achilles heel on this particular track. There's always one. There's always freaking one. 35.163. Yes. What is that? Another 3/10? Dude, I'll take it. I will take it.
So that was run 7. By far my cleanest run yet. And I made further improvements to turn 1 and through the carousel. Plus, I was able to get a better line and push it much, much harder through that slalom right before the finish. All of this resulted in another 0.274 second improvement over my previous run, allowing me to secure the 12th place spot. And my rival in the Miata, well, he ended up maintaining his 14th place spot. So I felt very good about this finish because it was very much a mental thing for me from several aspects. One, it was a night race and driving in the dark proved to be a significant challenge. Turn 1 was quite a mentally challenging corner given the decreasing radius nature of that corner. And lastly, that carousel was in fact deceiving as well, at least to me it was. So all the things that I just mentioned are things that a seasoned autocrosser would have picked up on and acclimated to much, much more quickly than I did. Honestly, I feel like it takes a true pro to feel like they've squeezed every bit of juice out of a given autocross track, just because you only have so many runs and so much time to improve and think about it in between runs. People spend years perfecting a given racetrack. In autocross, you never drive the same course twice. A huge aspect of being a good autocrosser is being able to quickly identify significant improvement areas and implement those fixes run to run. That is a very, very challenging thing to do. So anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but at the end of the day, I felt pretty good about that result, knowing that I improved on the course as well as I did, especially in those last 2 runs. And finally, I did beat my rival Miata. And I nearly bested a GR86, I'll have you know. And the guy was a decent driver as well. So at the end of the day, how did I end up doing? Well, 12th out of 23 drivers. That's the top 52% of the street field. All of this done with a car that all I did was basic maintenance to it. I replaced the tires, and I replaced the front sway bar bushings. I've done nothing with the alignment of this car, suspension, other than those bushings. All of that has been untouched on this car, and it is exactly the way it was the day that I bought it. Not to mention, even considering the index multipliers, it is highly, highly outgunned by the majority of the class. Honestly, it feels super good to make this old girl at least somewhat competitive. Which goes back to the entire purpose of the Project Weekend Racer. The purpose of this vehicle is to let all of you know you don't need a super fancy schmancy race car to bring to an autocross. All you need is a car. Go get some cool sports car or go get like a Corolla. It literally does not matter. Take it out to a local autocross and have an absolute blast. I guarantee you will have a good time.
Make sure everybody has a good time.
And with that, I'll step down off of my soapbox because I have talked to you guys enough about this in the past. So with that, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It helps out my channel significantly. And please subscribe. We've got new videos launching every single week on Fun Ahead TV, sometimes more. So please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss those. Thank you again for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Yes, you am looking right at you, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya.
Ripping, tearing, the ripping and the tearing.
Make sure everybody has a good time.